All right, and we are live. Good evening po sa inyong lahat mga kaguro. And of course, welcome back to Gurong Pinoy. Hello, of course, sa lahat ng members ng Team Skinner, our Let September 24, 2023 takers. And of course, your online application would start by June 23rd and would end on August 24th. Our target release of results po would be on December 7th. So before Pasko, tayo ay licensed professional teachers na po. And so if you are still not a member of Team Skinner, very easy. Just send a message to our Facebook page. Our Facebook page, of course, is Gurong Pinoy. If you're watching us on Facebook right now, it's the same Facebook page where you will be sending your message. All right, now tomorrow we would already be starting with our full online majorship. And so you can see the schedule on your screens right now. Orientation will be tomorrow, diagnostic test May 14th. That's on Sunday. Then, of course, we are going to have 10 days of discussion regarding your diagnostic test. Then, June 24th to 25th, you will have your mid-review discussion for 10 days again for your mid-review. Then, your pre-board will be from August 5th to 6th. Then, final coaching schedules can all be seen on your screen right now. Final recap, September 16th to 17th. That would be the weekend prior to your licensure exam for teachers. And so if you are part of any of the majors, so we have English, Math, Filipino, Gen Sci, Soft Sci, MAPE, Values Education, or TLE, AFA, just send a message to our Facebook page if you'd want to become a member of our majorship as well as Team Skinner, okay? Now, of course, for you to be inspired to study, top 3 for September 2023, all those members of Team Skinner would be receiving 100,000 pesos. Now, if you end up to be top 3, top 2, 200,000 pesos, and of course, top 1 would receive 300,000 pesos. Okay, that's all from Gurong Pinoy. That's for September 2023, the licensure exam for teachers. So again, good evening po. Tonight's discussion is centered on general education. But of course, as I'll start with our opening prayers, sasamahan niyo po ako, mga kaguro. Dear Lord, I come to you to ask for your guidance and direction in this study session. I ask that the Holy Spirit fill me with strength, creativity, and understanding to get through my studies without difficulty or sin. Help me hold my focus and attention. Help me to retain all that I learned. Please make my mind sharp and keep distractions at bay. If any part of my studying is weak or lacking in some way, let it be revealed so that I may correct it. Thank you for this opportunity to learn. Amen. All right, so once again, this is Jen Ed. Please do like, love, share our video. Very important that you are sharing our video. And of course, start a watch party, tag your friends. And you may also show your support by sending us stars on Facebook, super chat, super stickers naman po dyan sa ating YouTube channel. Now, if you still have friends who will be taking the LET in September, please spread the news. Now we are still accepting members for our Team Skinner. That's Let September 2023. All right, we start with question number 1. Please do not forget to be interactive, and of course, please key in your item number, and of course your letter of your choice. Okay, we start with question number 1. It is the overhanging balcony overlooking the street. Would this be letter A, azotea, letter B, balcon, letter C, entresuelo, or letter D, mezzanine? Okay, what is our choice for number 1? Hello, good evening sa inyong lahat. No, from Cebu, from Dubai, from Thailand. Okay. Sir RV Valencia, do we really need to print the answer sheet? Yes po, para kayo po ay makapag-practice na din ng shading. Sir Alcover, Lauron, good evening. Good evening, Mamek. Napadaan lang po. Totoo palang talagang nakakamiss yung boses mo, Mamek. So excited for the March 2023's LET results. Proud Team Brunner here. Malapit na maging LPT, no? Yung mga ka-batch ni Sir Alcover. Isa sa mga ating noisy dati. Saan po makikita yung answer sheet? Nasa majorship groups po ninyo, nakapin po sa featured section. All right, I see a lot of letter A's for number 1. Tama kaya ang letter A? Okay, sabi dito, no, the overhanging balcony, overlooking the street, overlooking the street. So usually ito yung inyong destinasyon or dito kayo kapag merong parada, papunta na sa Flores de Mayo, di ba? Magkakaroon na naman tayo ng Santa Cruzan. Kapag ka may parada ay dyan po kayo sa inyong overhanging balcony. So what is our choice? The correct choice here, of course, would be letter B, balkon or balkonahe. Okay, so this is a balcony, a platform enclosed by a balustrade on the outside of a building. So ayan, no, nakikita natin ito sa Maria Clara at Ibarra, 'di ba? Kapag yung mga manliligaw ay nasa ilalim, nasa ibaba, yung mga babae na nagpapaypay ay nandito, 'di ba? So that would be your balkonahe. Balkonahe or balcony. Okay, so that's your balkon. Now, what about your azotea, entresuelo, and mezzanine? No? So yung entresuelo and mezzanine nyo, C and D parehas lamang po yan. No? Yung azotea, ano ba yung pagkakaiba ng balkonahe at azotea? But yung iba sa inyo, azotea yung naging sagot. Okay, so your azotea is open air balcony beside the kitchen that housed a cistern, no? Para siyang may water tank and the bathroom and was usually a work area. So yung pinagkaiba lamang nila ay hindi siya overlooking the street. No? Minsan nasa likod ng bahay, minsan hindi mo nakikita yung mga taong dadaan kapag you are on the azotea. No? It's also a balcony, but it does not overlook the street. Now, entresuelo, again, as I've mentioned, this is similar to your mezzanine. This literally means between floors. This is the area where clients, tenants, or estate managers, if the owner was a rich landowner, wait before being admitted to the officina or office. Okay, so para siyang waiting area between the rooms, no, na nasa malapit siya sa pinaka-office, no, pinaka-opisina ng may-aring landowner. Okay, yung landlord, yung mga hasyendero dati. Okay, and so the correct choice is balkon, no? So okay. So sa El Fili pala medyo na-confuse si Ma'am Geneva Lanorio kasi meron daw suyuan sa azotea, no? Pero hindi siya overlooking kasi the street, no? Yun kasi yung nasa question natin kanina. And so letter B, balkon or balkonahe, ang ating pong tumpak na choice. Move on kaagad sa question number 2. The blank served as a model for Hispanized Filipino house. Letter A, bahay kubo. Letter B, bahay pare. Letter C, bahay-bahayan. Or letter D, bahay na bato. Nakapag-move on na ako kaagad, sabi ni Facebook user. Okay, I see a lot of letter D's. Yung hint nyo dito is Hispanized. Hispanized, the term Hispanized. And so this means ito ay naging sikat during the Spanish occupation sa ating pong bansa, no? Hispanized. And so the correct choice here would be letter D, bahay na bato. No? So this is an example of your bahay na bato. Meron pa tayong mga heritage ng ancestral houses, kalimitang tawag sa kanila na heritage houses. Meron pa ilan-ilan sa mga lugar dito sa Iloilo. Meron pa rin, no? Sa Vigan, of course, we see a lot of this. Sana makapasyal sa Vigan. Hindi pa po kami napupunta sa Vigan. Okay, so bahay na bato is what we are looking for. Bahay kubo was prior to the coming of the Spanish. Okay, so bahay siya ng mga Indio kasi, no? So bago pa dumating yung mga Espanyol, bahay kubo yung mas sikat. Okay, pero yung Hispanized Filipino house was bahay na bato. Bahay pare is the house of the priests, no? So bahay ni Padre Salve, that would be called bahay pare. And of course, bahay-bahayan, alam natin to, no? Nung mga medyo maliliit pa tayo, ay ginagawa natin yung bahay-bahayan. Okay? But bahay na bato is what we are looking for. No? There's one that I've seen sa Facebook, a lot of Facebook posts, no? Sa La Union, I've seen one bahay na bato. Okay, so we go to number 3. What are those 8 components of communication process? Letter A, source, message, channel, receiver, feedback, environment, context, and interference or barrier. Letter B, source, message, channel, encoding, feedback, environment, context, and interference or barrier. Okay, so yung naiba dito sa A at B mode, the receiver and encoding, no? Letter C, source, message channel, receiver, feedback, environment, style. Imbes na context, style yung nakalagay. And interference, barrier. Source, message channel, receiver, stimulus instead of feedback. No? So which one do you think is the right choice for number 3? Okay, I see letter A's sa ating question number 3. Again, please do like, love, and share our video. Pakisabihan no, yung inyong neighbor, ang friend mo na mag-join sa Team Skinner no, para mas masaya tayo. Okay, number 3, the correct choice here is letter A. Tama po yung letter A, no? So these are the different components in your communication process. First, you have the source. And of course, the source would send the message to the receiver, no? Through channels. Through the different channels. Okay, so po pwedeng sa radyo, sa text, po pwedeng sa TV, po pwedeng sa messenger, po pwedeng sa email. No? Those are the different channels that you might have. So yung source mo, again, would send a message through the different channels and the receiver would accept no, or receive the message. And then eventually, of course, the roles would switch. Okay, so the receiver would be giving your feedback and so the receiver now would be giving the feedback or the reply. The receiver now becomes the source through the same channel, and of course the source, the prior source, will become the receiver. And then of course you also have the 3 other components here. Context. When you say context, contexto. Okay, so factors that work together to determine the meaning of a message. Anong kahulugan ng message? Saan siya ginamit? Ano yung panahon kung saan ginamit? Ano yung setting? No? So that will be part of your context. Interference or barriers. Ito yung mga noise mo, no? Different types of noise. And of course, you have the environment. It might be your physical and psychological atmosphere. Okay, so the correct choice, of course, would be letter A for number 3. We go to question number 4. Malaking tulong ang teknolohiya sa pagkakaroon ng mas malawak na impormasyon hinggil sa mga kultura, kagawian, tradisyon at paniniwala ng mga tao tungkol or tungo sa matibay na pagkakakilala at pagkakaroon ng malalim na respeto. Ito ay nabibilang sa anong salik ng multicultural na setting? Would this be letter A, kamalayang kultural? Letter B, kahusayang kultural? Letter C, kawastuhang politikal? Or letter D, mundo ng diversidad? Pa-shout out, Gayoso family, hello po. Sa buong family, good evening po sa inyong lahat. That's coming from Ma'am Angelica Manlangit Gayoso. Team Piaget, isa sa ating mga LPTs na walang sawang pasasalamat sa iyo, Ma'am. LPT na po ng Dahil sa Gurong Pinoy, Ma'am Noraisa M. Mariga. Parte pa si Ma'am Noraisa ng Team Piaget. Okay, congratulations and of course, assalamualaikum to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. Okay, I see a lot of letter A's. Tama kaya ang letter A, no? Sabi niya, no, malawak na impormasyon hinggil sa kultura, mga kultura, kagawian, tradisyon, paniniwala ng mga tao tungo sa matibay na pagkakakilala at pagkakaroon ng malalim na respeto. Ma'am Princess Porto Caranceja, hindi po kayo magsisisi pag nag-enroll kayo sa Gurong Pinoy. Unit earner po ako. First take, last October 2, LPT na po ako from Team Piaget. Congratulations, Ma'am Princess Caranceja. But the correct choice for number 4 would be letter D, mundo ng diversidad. No? Diversity, pagkakaiba-iba ng ating kultura, ng ating kagawian, tradisyon, paniniwala, etc. para tayo ay magkaroon ng pagkakakilala and of course ng malalim na respeto sa bawat isa kahit tayo man ay magkakaiba. Now, what about the rest of your choices? Kamalayang cultural po is just cultural awareness. You are just aware. Alam mo lang na merong iba-ibang kultura, no? But napaka-shallow niya. Alam niyo lang, no? You are just aware that there's different types of culture. Kahusayang cultural is cultural competence. You know that there are different types of culture. This is a notch above your cultural awareness na hindi lamang aware ka sa iba't ibang kultura, pero tanggap mo na ang inyong kultura ay hindi mas mataas kaysa sa ibang kultura. No? You don't neglect other people's culture. Kawastuhang political naman, this is political correctness. Okay? When you say political correctness, gumagamit ka ng mga terminologies na hindi nakakasakit or hindi nagiging bias sa ibang, for example, indigenous groups or sa mga grupo, no, iba't ibang grupo ng tao po, pwedeng dahil sa height, dahil sa face value niya, no? So ayaw mo lang na makasakit, no? That's political correctness. So usually if you are a politician, for example, you would be using terms that are politically correct, no? And these are some examples of our politically correct na terms. Academic dishonesty. Imbis na sabihin mong cheating, you say academic dishonesty. Imbis na sabihin mong ang pangit niya, sasabihin mong he or she is aesthetically challenged, di ba? So hindi siya mas nakakasakit kaysa ugly. Para siyang euphemism, no, sa English. Imbis na sabihin mong negro or negro, you just say black. Okay? Comb-free. Imbes na sabihin mong kalbo, he is comb-free, yung ginagamit mo. Alright? Disabled, you say differently abled. Imbes na sabihin mong drug addict, you say drug dependent. Imbes na sabihin mong broken home, you say dysfunctional family. Okay? Imbes na sabihin mong hampas lupa or poor, you say economically marginalized. Okay? So, mas maganda siyang pakinggan. Kaya siya tinatawag na politically correct. Okay? So, kawastuhang political naman ito. Alright? But we were looking for mundo ng diversidad. Okay? Diversity. The world of diversity. Okay? We go to the next item, your favorite, math. 2 buses leave the same station at 8 p.m. One bus travels north at the rate of 30 kilometers per hour and the other travels east at 40 kilometers per hour. How many kilometers apart are the buses at 10 p.m.? 140 kilometers, 100 kilometers, letter C 70 kilometers, or letter D 50 kilometers? Okay, what is our choice? Number 5. Okay, yan sabi ni Sir Jean Almadovar, nasa UAE yata Sir Jean, no? Sa UAE, ang tawag sa disabled persons ay people of determination. Aba, mas maganda ang pakinggan, no? Determinado. Taong determinado. Okay. Alright, sabi ni Ma'am Nance Biswas, 5A, okay lang kung ligwak ito. Alright, medyo allergic ba sa math, ma'am or sir? Ma'am Nance? Okay, number 5, math. You have 2 buses. No? Sa dalawang bus, leaving the same station at 8 p.m. One bus travels north, papuntang norte, papuntang Baguio yung isa, no? 30 kph. The other travels east at 40 kph. How many kilometers apart are the buses at 10 p.m.? Okay, now, as you can see, no, if you are going to represent our statement, our math statement, or our problem here, you can represent that with this drawing, no? So yung isa is traveling at 40 kph going north. Sorry, no, dapat pala 30 ito, na mali yata ako. Okay. So dapat pala 30 ito dito and ito naman ay 40, no, magkabaliktad. But then the question would still be the same, no, kahit na magkabaliktad naman yung ating values dito, ganun pa rin yung ating magiging solution. How many kilometers apart are the buses at 10 p.m.? Okay, so as you can see, from 8 to 10, we have a difference of 2 hours. Okay, so 2 hours po ang diferensya. And so if you have a bus traveling at 40 kph, no, kilometers per hour, after 2 hours, you have 40 times 2, no, 40 kph times 2 dahil dalawang oras yung biyahe niya, and that would mean that it has traveled 80 kilometers. Okay, the other bus would travel also for 2 hours, 30 kph, 30 kilometers times 2 would give you 60 kilometers. Then of course, we are looking for this distance right here, no? Ito po, ang ating hinahanap. Okay, so not distance pala, but displacement. No, displacement would be a much better scientific term. Okay, so we are looking for the number of kilometers that the buses are apart at 10 p.m. Okay, so what you do, of course, as you can see, our illustration here forms your right triangle, and so we can use your Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared. No, a squared is 80. Okay, kahit saan po dyan, no, kahit interchange nyo sila, okay lang po. So 80 squared plus 60 squared equals 6c squared. No, 80 squared equals 6,400. That's 80 times 80 plus 60 times 60 is 3,600 equals c squared. No? And for us, of course, to get the value of c, we need to get the square root of the sum here. The sum of 6,400 plus 3,600 is 10,000. Getting the square root, the correct choice is letter B, 100 kilometers. Okay, so letter B, 100 kilometers ang ating pong tumpak na choice. Okay, so 100 kilometers ang ating hinahanap. Ligwak na naman, sabi ni Sir Roms Bantilyan. Okay, but of course, you have to say, yay, natuto, no? Kasi ligwak na naman. And of course, if you are a member of Team Skinner, you can easily download our PDF file later. Okay, we go to number 6. An assembly that was created to solve the problem between Magdiwang and Magdalo. Would it be letter A, Tejeros Convention, letter B, Pact of the Biak na Bato, letter C, Treaty of Paris, or letter D, Treaty of the Tordesillas? Mag-move on na sana ako, tama pala yung sagot ko. Okay. Sa Team Skinner po, we will be giving you the most common math items. The math items that you usually see sa inyong let, no? So, yung iba kasi hindi talaga kaya. So, the last resort that we would say is for the memorized na lang yung first ones. Okay? Paulit-ulit naman kasi yung items no, sa ating licensure exam, especially sa math, since math is an exact science. No? So, minsan tinatamad na si PRC, hindi na gumagawa ng bagong item or kahit na similar item man lang, no, hindi na siya nag-change ng mga values, ganun at ganun pa din. So minsan for the memorize na lang talaga. All right, C6, I see a lot of letter A's, and that would be right. Okay, so this is your Tejeros Convention, an assembly that was created to solve the problem between Magdiwang and Magdalo. Let's take a look at our explanation. So on March 22, 1897, the Tejeros Convention was held in order to reconcile the differences between the two factions of the Katipunan, the Magdalo, which viewed Emilio Aguinaldo Ifami as its leader, and the Magdiwang, which gravitated towards Andres Bonifacio. Okay, so Magdalo yung grupo na gusto si Emilio Aguinaldo, Magdiwang naman gusto si Andres Bonifacio. The outcome was a decision that the Katipunan should be dissolved. Dapat yung Katipunan ay i-dissolve and a revolutionary government should be established. And then they had the elections, and ang na-elect na president was Emilio Aguinaldo. Andres Bonifacio, the former leader of the Katipunan, was elected Director of Interior na parang DILG secretary. So initially, na-accept ito ni Bonifacio, no? So in-accept niyang maluwag sa kanyang dibdib, maluwag sa kanyang kalooban. Sige, ako yung DILG secretary. Kumbaga, si Aguinaldo yung ating magiging presidente. Pero si Bonifacio po ay ininsulto ni Daniel Tirona. Okay? So, because Daniel Tirona objected, bakit si Bonifacio yung ating magiging secretary of or director of the interior, no? So, Bonifacio felt insulted, and so he declared that the proceedings of the convention was null and void, and he established a new government. This was seen as an act of treason by the others. And so eventually, naging mitsa ng buhay ni Bonifacio yung Tejeros Convention. So he was arrested and sentenced to death in Maragondon, Cavite. Cavite tuloy, okay? Pasensya na po, Ilongga. All right, so what about the Pact of Biak na Bato? Mm. This was signed on December 15, 1897, and this created a truce between Spanish colonial General Fernando Primo de Rivera and the revolutionary leader Emilio Aguinaldo. No? So this ended the Philippine Revolution naman. That's biyak na ba to? The Treaty of Paris, ang Treaty of Paris naman, this ended the period of Spanish colonization in the Philippines and granted possession of Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines to the United States. But of course, the United States also had to pay certain amount, no, ilang milyong dolyar para sa Pilipinas. The Treaty of Tordesillas 1494 divided the New World into Spanish and Portuguese spheres of influence. Okay? But then we were looking for, of course, Tejeros Convention. Letter A is tumpak. We go to question number 7. When was Iglesia Watawat ng Lahi, a Rizalista group, established? Letter A, 1915. Letter B, 1911. C, 1911. Mali si PRC na parehas po, 1911, B and C. Or letter D, 1936. Sir Rique Buenafe. Proud Team Brunner, good evening po. Shout out sa friend ko na nakikinig, si Ma'am Laika Samson. That's coming from Ma'am Gigi Baay. Okay, what's your choice? Nakatumpak din si Ma'am Julie Litohon. What is your choice for number 7, ICDs? Team Brunner, Sir Marshall Tatoy Jr. Good evening po. Okay, 7 letter D, and that is tumpak, no? So, tumpak po yan, 1936, no, medyo weird, no? Ang Iglesia Watawat ng Lahi, they were established on December 25th, 1936 in Calamba, Laguna. And of course, as I've mentioned, medyo weirdo sila dahil unang-una, no, meron silang paniniwala na buhay pa rin si Jose Rizal. At paniniwala nila na si Jose Rizal ay nakatira sa Mount Makiling. Okay? Now, they'd also require aspiring priests to study in an institution in Bicol. And another thing, they would allow their priests to marry after they have served the church for at least 5 years. Okay, their sect officials are not paid but are supported by the nations, by the sect's financially able members. Okay, so medyo marami sa kanila, medyo may pera, and so yung mga leaders nila ay walang sahod pero may abono, no, kumbaga suportado ng mga donasyon ng kanilang mayayamang ka-member. Okay, but medyo weird nga sila. Sabi nila si Jose Rizal daw ay still alive and living in Mount Makiling. If you want to be a priest, you have to study in an institution in Bicol, and after 5 years or at least 5 years of serving as a priest, you may marry. Okay, so that's Iglesia Watawat ng Lahi. All right, we go to number 8. He is Rizal's instructor in sculpture. Letter A, Francisco de Paula Sanchez. Letter B, Jose Bench. Letter C, Romualdo de Jesus. Or letter D, Don Agustin Saez. Okay, what is our choice? Team Brunner, Sir Richard Garcia Martinez from Digos City. Shout out kay Isagani G. Ibanez, and Jenny Pearl Manadero of Team Skinner. Hello po. Maraming salamat for recommending us, Sir Richard. From Team Brunner, Sir Richard. All right, number 8, ICCs. Romualdo de Jesus, letter C for number 8, and that is tumpak, no? Now, what about the rest of our choices? Francisco de Paula Sanchez was the Spanish Jesuit who was Rizal's favorite teacher in Ateneo, where the said priest taught literature. Now, it was under Father Sanchez that Rizal learned the Greek and Latin classics. He also encouraged Rizal to cultivate his literary skills. So, paboritong guro ni Rizal, si Francisco de Paula Sanchez, because he was the teacher of Rizal for literature. No? So, sa kanya maraming natutunan si Rizal, and he was the one who encouraged Rizal to write poems, write all the things that he wrote. Okay, Jose Bench, or Jose Beck, no? Beck po yan dapat, was Rizal's first professor in the Ateneo. Nasa discussion na natin ito last time. Don Agustin Saez naman was his professor in drawing. Okay, so sa drawing naman, si Don Agustin Saez. We were looking for his instructor in sculpture, and so the correct choice is letter C. Letter C is tumpak. We go to number 9. In the United States, the blank ensures regular deposit accounts to reassure individuals and businesses regarding the safety of their finances with financial institutions. Would this be letter A, GATT, letter B, FDIC, letter C, WTO, or letter D, IMF, no? A few days ago, medyo nataranta yung lahat dahil sa GCash, no? GCash, GCash scare. Pero parang wala namang bawas, no? Sinakyan kasi ng maraming vloggers. Sinabi ng ibang vloggers na wala daw, nabawasan daw yung pera nila, pero so far wala naman, no? Parang nag-update lang naman si GCash. Eri Love Ortega de Leon, shout out po sa mga classmates ko sa methods of teaching ng USAN, second sem, especially to Dre and AJ na Team Skinner din. Hello po, good evening. Okay, I see letter B's. Letter B's. Letter B, would it be right? Tama kaya ang letter B? Okay, the correct choice here is letter B. Tumpak po yung letter B, no? So, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, meron na kayong hint. Ayan, no? Insures regular deposit accounts, no? So, insurance, deposit, no? So, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation is what we are looking for. What about the rest of your choices? GATT serve to minimize barriers to international trade by eliminating or reducing quotas, tariffs, and subsidies. Na kumbaga, mas naging madali ang trade between countries nang nagkaroon ng GATT dahil na-reduce, no? Wala ng quota, wala na masyadong tarifa, wala ng subsidies. Okay, now, ang inyo namang World Trade Organization ay kumbaga GATT in modern day, no? So GATT was an international treaty with a temporary international existence. Pero yung World Trade Organization is a permanent body whose authority has been ratified by its many member nations. Kasi yung GATT daw, hindi talaga siya na-ratify, no? Hindi talaga siya formally naging, naging parte ng isang law, no? So, World Trade Organization is the modernized version of GATT, and of course, it is more secured. Now, your IMF, this monitors the international monetary system and global economic developments to identify risks and recommend policies for growth and financial stability. Kumbaga, yung International Monetary Fund mo, ito yung taga-pautang, no? So, especially mga third world countries, yung mga global south, pinapahiram ng pera ng IMF, no? Para makapag-start, para makapag-grow, and of course, to become financially stable. Okay? We're looking, of course, for letter B, number 9. All right, number 10, what's your choice? Be aware of your voice in relation to the number of people you're speaking with and the distance between you and them. This pertains to letter A, volume, letter B, intonation, letter C, variation in speed, or letter D, pausing and phrasing. All right, so again, if you'd want to enjoy the full video and to download our materials, also to join our online quiz, become a member of Team Skinner, send a message to our Facebook page. If you are watching us on Facebook right now, please do send a message through this Facebook page. Okay, 10. Sabi ng number 10 mo, be aware of your voice in relation to the number of people. Mas marami yung taong kaharap mo, dapat mas malakas ang inyong boses, and of course, mas malayo yung distance, dapat mas pasigaw, no, yung inyong pong pakikipag-usap sa kanya, alright? And so the correct choice here, of course, would be volume. Volume po, di ba? Kapag ka mas marami yung tao, or kapag ka mas malayo, you tend to make your voice louder. And so we are talking about volume for number 10. Okay? Not intonation. Intonation po is the rising and falling of your voice. No variation in speed. Minsan bumabagal ka. Minsan naman ay bumibilis ang inyong pagkakabigkas, ang pagkakasalita. Pausing and phrasing, we've also talked about this the last time. Pausing, of course, sometimes you need to pause to give emphasis and also to get the feedback, no, get the reaction from your audience. Phrasing, of course, ay kung paano mo ginugrupo-grupo yung mga salita sa inyong speech. Okay? But we were looking for, of course, letter A, volume for number 10. We go to question number 11. Isa sa konsiderasyon sa mabisang komunikasyon na nagbabatid na lugar ay may malaking impluensya sa komunikasyon, at kung hindi ito isaalang-alang, ang isang tao ay maaaring mapagkamalang bastos o walang pinag-aralan. Would this be letter A, and letter B, setting, letter C, participants, or letter D, instrumentalities? Okay, what is our choice? What's your choice? Number 11. Question number 11, ano po yung ating hinahanap?